Welcome back to Diamond Niners Weekly. It's Tuesday night before the 49ers home opener. Once again, we're talking Charlotte 49ers baseball here live at the Haze. This is Nick, joined always by Kevin.
What's up, Niner Nation?
Producer Brad.
Hey.
And we're going to get Coach Woody in here, but for right now, Coach Woody has been supplanted. He's been replaced. He's been outdone. And who can blame him? If you didn't already know, and you probably do, we're joined here, and I guess if you're going to supplant Coach Woody, you might as well do it with an All-American, Conference Player of the Year, Golden Spike semifinalist. I'm missing a whole bunch of other stuff, but those are the biggies. We got number 14, Austin Knight, here. What's going on, Austin?
I appreciate y'all having me on.
Man, we appreciate you making time for us. We're going to get started here. We're going to talk to Austin a little bit and let you guys get to know him a little better. Before we get started, though, we love it when you guys interact. Love it when you guys get in there in the chat. Hit us up on social media. Jump in the chat on YouTube. Hit us up on Twitter, whatever you got. If you want to ask a question, and you know, I know you don't have questions for us, but you might have questions for Austin Knight. If you've ever wanted to ask Austin Knight a question, let's get that done tonight. All right, so let's jump right in here, Austin. This is the first time we've had a chance to, we've talked to you after games and before games before, but this is the first time we've ever had a chance to sit down with you and kind of give you an opportunity to share your background with folks. So you're from Jacksonville, Florida.
Correct.
Played at the Bowl School down there. Talk a little bit about, just start with kind of your high school baseball experience, what it was like growing up in such a baseball-rich state and playing baseball down there in Florida and you know, all it is that.
It was great. There was always good competition. You were always playing against guys that were on your level, if not better than you. So it drove people to up their game and try different things in order to become the best players that they could possibly be. And, I mean, my high school team was pretty good growing up, so we were always facing better competition. And, like, my dad grew up a baseball player. He played baseball at the University of Florida. So he's played a huge role in the baseball player that I am today. He was my first coach, basically my only coach until college. So being able to be in warm weather yearly, you can play all year round, and have a dad that teaches you everything that you need to know was great for me growing up, baseball related.
You know, you bring up your dad, and over the years we've gotten to know a lot of the player parents, and that's always fun. We enjoy that. But it's always interesting watching your dad play catcher at Florida, and it's always interesting watching a baseball game standing next to, in particular, a catcher, because they just see things, right? I mean, it's just when I watch games with your dad, I always learn something. Is what I'm trying to say. I mean, he's really insightful, so that's cool. And he's watching at home, and he's probably like, "Stop talking about me," but it's okay, Palmer. We will. All right, so let's talk as you're transitioning high school to college. Like, you're getting recruited out of high school, and you wind up at the University of Tennessee. Talk about the recruitment process and what that was like.
It's very stressful as an 18-year-old kid, or 17, 18 years old. Getting recruited to play college baseball is very stressful because you're trying to find the right place for you, somewhere that'll give you the best opportunity to go on to pro ball, which is every little kid's dream. But it was hard at first because you're not used to coaches reaching out to you and just trying to plan out your life as an 18-year-old kid is a hard thing to do. And, I mean, once you find your home, it's crazy how everything ended up and how things got to where they were. Like, for me, mine was different because I went to the University of Tennessee out of high school, and I never really felt like that was home. And then the moment I stepped foot on Charlotte, everything was different, and it was fulfilling for me to find my actual home. And it took me a school that I wasn't comfortable at to figure that out, that Charlotte was my home, and I've never looked back.
So you, the stressful process of the recruiting, you actually went through it 2 times.
I did.
Was it any easier the second time around?
The second time was actually harder because it was during the COVID-19 outbreak right when it started. So I wasn't allowed to go see schools in person, or everything was on Zoom. So the first time I saw the campus and the field in person was the day I moved in here. So all of my recruiting was on Zoom and talking to the coaches through videos and phone calls and texts. So that was a little more stressful than actually getting to go see it in person. But
That's a leap of faith.
yes, it is.
You bought all this.
I did.
Sight unseen.
The coaching staff, you couldn't go wrong with it. I liked everything about it. So, I mean, after I talked with them the first time on FaceTime, it was my number one immediately.
So Nate Furman was in a movie theater when he first heard from Charlotte baseball. Do you remember where you were and what you were doing?
I think I was getting ready to leave for summer ball, and I played down in a league in Florida. It was one of the only leagues that I could find that you could play in because everything else was shut down. And most of my talking with Charlotte, I was down in Tampa playing, and I actually didn't know that my waiver got passed for me to go from Tennessee to Charlotte, and I got done with a summer ball game and had 15 calls from Coach Woodard, 5 from Coach Bick, and I look at my phone and was shocked, stressed out, didn't know what to do, so I called them back, and yeah, everyone else knew before me. So that was great.
You know, that interesting part of that story, Kevin and I might be on the list of people that knew because, and Woody's sitting over at his desk smiling, we had come by here for some reason. We had dropped by, we were dropping something off or picking something up, or we were doing something, and these guys were just on cloud nine, and we were like, what's going on? What's the deal? And they're like, we just got word Austin Knight's got his waiver approved. And we were like, all right, yeah, let's go. Yeah. So yeah, we actually might be on the list of people that knew before you did.
Y'all
Austin.
probably did.
You know,
and that excitement prompted us to go watch one of your summer league games on video. I had it on YouTube. So,
yes, we did.
So we had to see what the hype was about. And man, we were in for something when you stepped on campus.
Now, and everybody, I made reference to your accolades, and people know your stats and all that stuff. But what were your expectations for yourself coming into last year? I mean, what were you? You're in a new home. You get here. You find out. You kind of get your feet under you. You're like, hey, I kind of like it here. This feels good. This has a good vibe. And then you just have this season. What were you? What was your mindset coming in?
I never really set personal goals going into a season. It's always what is like my role that I'm going to adopt for the season in order to help us win and win as many games as possible. So, I mean, I found myself in a bunch of RBI situations last year. So it's what do I have to do to drive these runners in order to help us score more runs to win more games is basically what drives me as a hitter is winning. I hate losing. So whatever I can do to help the team win is what I'm going to do.
It's so interesting. We talking to so many different guys on the team. I mean, that's a pretty much unified approach to this group of guys. I mean, it's everybody is so focused on that one goal, and it doesn't always work out that way. I mean, when you're bringing guys from different places and different backgrounds, it doesn't always gel that way. But this group seems to really have that. So, I want to ask you a question about your approach to the game. And Kevin and I were talking about this earlier today. So, we watched you play last fall. And then we watched you play in the preseason, and we watched a lot of practice and whatnot, and we've done the same thing this coming into this season. It's easy to watch you on the field during practice and during scrimmages and say, man, that's a really talented baseball player, okay? But something different happens with you when the game goes live. You've got like another gear, or it appears that way. We always talk about it this way. It's like in practice and scrimmage, you're like, that's a good baseball player. That's a very good baseball player. But then when the lights come on, like they are right now behind us, you go somewhere else. I mean, is that the way you think of it?
I don't really think of it that way, but there's nothing like game day, and it's very hard to emulate through practice and scrimmages. And I mean, going and facing another opponent is a whole different animal where you're locked into doing whatever it takes to win. And scrimmages, you can kind of get lost in the reps and just the innings you're playing. And when game day comes, your body kind of goes numb and you're just locked in 100% to winning a baseball game and not kind of worried about what's going on around you. And scrimmages, I kind of work on different things. So I'm trying different swing tactics and different things. But once the game hits, my swing is my swing, and I'm going with what I trust.
That's a good approach. I mean, and that's true. I mean, as you're preparing, you're focused on different things, and what people are seeing in a scrimmage, in an exhibition, might not be. You're just trying something different out, and you're doing that. But your swing is definitely your swing. And speaking of your swing, there was something. What was it, Kevin, that we saw over the weekend that was as a result of his swing? Seemed like he ended up with something around his neck.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? What was that about?
Picture that Sydney took with the boxing gloves around his neck. I think it went viral, man. Didn't it? So some national publication picked it up.
It was getting tweeted, and No Context College Baseball tweeted that, and then it got picked up. And so we want to know what's up with the boxing gloves, right?
If you can disclose it.
We are a family show. What's up with the boxing gloves? That's what we want to hear about.
So we decided that would be our home run celebration because we were working on drills in the fall, and one of our warm-up things is punching a boxing glove. And people were tweeting at us saying it was dumb and it wasn't working, and just for us to show Coach Siebes that we had his back, that's now our home run celebration because everyone loves it and it's working. So we trusted him, and we made it our gold boxing glove home run celebration.
Golden gloves, that's right.
So he's gone from golden spikes to golden gloves. So is it fair to say, I mean, y'all are having fun with it and y'all love it, but at least on some level, this home run celebration is at least partially a troll job?
I would say so to some regard.
I love that.
That's funny. That's funny.
I love that. What could be better? You're having fun, and you're also having a little dig at, and you guys have bought in so much to what the coaching staff has installed here. But you're right. There's really a divide in baseball, whether it's training methods or the way you play the game, whatever. And Charlotte baseball has become a little more new school.
Right.
And that's a great thing. It's obviously working, but not everybody.
Yeah, not everybody supports it, but
not everybody believes.
If it works, it works. So
yeah,
you can't complain about it.
That's right. There's different methods and different ways to win, right?
Exactly.
So let's talk a little bit about. First of all, you got the chance in going to FIU and FAU, you have gotten the chance to play in your home state before, but this was a little closer to home. This was an area that you had a little more experience in. So what was that like playing in front of a sort of a home Florida crowd?
It was great because a bunch of my family got the opportunity to come down and watch me play. So I had my parents, my grandparents, my uncle, and my cousin were all there, and it was great having them at the game, and because they haven't really gotten a chance to watch me play that much, so it was nice being that close to home to where a bunch of my family members could come and watch.
And even with the restrictions last year, not many folks here got to see you play, so it's extra special for your folks and family to see you down there and so close to home. I'm sure that helped you out with getting 9 ribbies, a homer, and a couple doubles this weekend.
Is that good?
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good.
Was he? I think. Now he's gonna be too modest to admit this, but I think his OPS right now is like 1.9 something. It's nasty.
It's winning. It's helping us win. That's all he cares about, right?
Exactly.
So what's on tap for this weekend? You got anything going on? Anything? Doing some homework? Maybe having a cookout, something like that? Anything going on?
Nothing really until West Virginia strolls in here, and we're going to do the best we can to sweep them and start the home series 3-0.
Oh, there's home baseball this weekend?
There is.
Man,
home baseball at the Haze.
That's awesome.
And it's open. The Haze is open. It wasn't open fully last year until the last weekend, and this year everything's open, and we're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, what before let me just drop this in here, by the way, since since Austin has informed us there's home baseball this weekend. 704-687-4949 is the ticket office, and you can go to charlotte49ers.com, get your tickets if you don't already have them. That experience last year, playing, you guys had to jump, through so many different hoops and all the things you had to do. That had to be a little strange, like, right? Playing baseball, playing competitive baseball at this high level with very few or sometimes nobody watching. What's that like? You got to bring your own juice, right?
You do. It was odd because fans fire up players that you can't really make up with yourself. So having fans in the stands, and when they're getting loud, you're getting more amped up. So fans play a bigger role in games than they think they do and realize that they do. So playing in an empty stadium was different. And it was something you had to figure out how to play baseball that way, as opposed to, fans provide adrenaline for players. So once they're getting loud, our adrenaline starts going and it makes us play better. And you had to make your own adrenaline when there was no one in the stands. So it was different.
So what you're saying is a big home crowd this weekend could easily impact the outcome of the game.
It would be great.
704-687-4949 is your number for tickets, charlotte49ers.com.
And if you want to, you can go ahead and get season tickets. They're still available.
You can still get season tickets. Did you know that, Austin?
I did not.
Did you know that? You can still get season tickets. So if you haven't done that, of course, with this show, we're probably preaching to the choir, but it's okay. We're still preaching. So what, for you guys, just coming this season, right? I know that you were all proud of last season and 40 wins, and the NCAA tournament and the performances that you turned in. But on some level, right, you got a little taste, but you didn't get enough, right? And that's got to be something that was driving you guys this off season leading up to this, right?
It definitely was.
I don't know how I want to word this. Are you over it, focused on this season, or maybe do you ever get over it?
I would say I'm over it, but when I think back to it, I still get a little sour taste in my mouth because, looking back, it was a great season and everything we accomplished was great, but losing in the regional was still a little sour. But now I've kind of turned the page and focused on not losing in the regional this year. That's always going to be a goal. Everyone's goal is to make it to Omaha, and I feel like with the team we have this year, we definitely have a chance to.
Well, if you go, then we'll go too.
Please join us.
You up for that, Kevin?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Let's go to Omaha. So a little non-baseball stuff here, because you guys, we can't lose sight of this. You guys are student athletes, majoring in economics.
Correct.
I wish I majored in finance when I was here originally. I wish I had done economics. I think that would have been more flexible, more versatile than finance. But so what? Let's just say you're in line. You're gonna have your opportunities to continue your baseball career, but at some point in your lifespan, whether it's when you're my age or not, you're gonna move into a career after baseball. You got any ideas what you might want to do?
Probably somewhere along the lines of a financial advisor or something related to that. I'm fascinated by the stock market, so I want to be dealing with that in the future.
And see, that's why I majored in finance. I was here. I graduated high school in '96. I just dated myself, but that was during the age of the .com boom and everything that was going on, and I was so fascinated with the stock market. Yeah, it can hypnotize you.
It can.
It's like
you can get lost in it.
Yeah, so it's like that. Do you remember wanting to be a civil engineer?
Yeah, at a certain point when when my baseball playing days were done, I turned to engineering. Yes.
His baseball playing days were done in high school. well, he still plays old man softball. My baseball career ended in middle school. Can you find that hard to believe?
I do.
He's being really kind here. So we've got to get you off. You've been very generous with your time here. You've got to go get some stuff done and get ready for the weekend. I hear, like you said, there's some baseball being played. But sort of as a kind of rounding this out, what's Omaha? Yes. Okay. After Omaha, what's Austin Knight's goal for this season? I know you want. Well, Kevin and I have already agreed to go to Omaha with you. We're on board with that. But what's Austin Knight? What's Austin Knight looking to get done this season?
I really have not. I don't set personal goals, so that really is my only goal, is to make it to Omaha. And with everything that we have, that we put out on the field, we have the chance to, and that's my only focus. I have thought about setting personal goals, but that's just not who I am as a player, and I don't like chasing stats. And I feel like when you chase stats, bad things tend to happen. So I kind of just set stats aside and let those things work themselves out and focus on winning baseball games.
Do you really even pay attention to them, honestly?
No, I don't. I never look at my stats until someone will tell me, or I'll look at the end of the season. I don't look during the season.
I was pretty sure it was hard last season when you were leading the country in doubles, but yeah, I can understand that. It's hard to ignore that, but when you're leading the nation in certain categories, but that also comes with team success. With team success, the individual accolades come as well. So if the team accomplishes good things, you guys will accomplish good things individually.
Exactly.
I know you don't, and this is what's great. He means this, folks. Lots of people say they don't care about individual stuff, but they're being falsely modest, right? That's not what's going on here. But how do you, as someone who's never been put on a watch list, well, I've been put on a watch list, but not for an award. Watch list, getting awards, getting accolades. How do you find out about those? How does you're doing your thing, you're down there at practice, and how do you find out that you've made an All-American list, for example?
Honestly, through y'all's Twitter. When you tag me
You
on
find out
tweets.
from us?
Exactly. I find out everything through y'all's Twitter.
Well, I guess that's good and bad.
So when you don't care about your accolades and your stats, we're probably muted.
Yeah, we're getting close to that status, I guess.
Yeah, we're gonna get blocked by Austin Knight on Twitter. Nothing personal, guys.
I wouldn't go that far.
Nothing personal, fellas. I just can't pay attention to this anymore. I got to focus on the season. All right, Austin, you've been generous with your time. We appreciate it. This has been a lot of fun. We like giving you guys the opportunity or people to get the opportunity to hear from you guys and get to know you a little better. Yeah, I think it just helps. It helps all the way around when people feel like they have some kind of connection to you, And I mean, I'm not just saying this. You're easy to approach. You're easy to like. You're easy to talk to. It's great. So we appreciate it.
And we'll give you the last word. Anything you guys, if you want to say to the...
Yeah, what do you want to say to Niner Nation?
Pack the Haze every home series. We need the fans in the stands, and y'all play a huge role in our success. So I would love to see the Haze be sold out for all the home games.
Seems like it was 704-687-4949 was the ticket office number.
And
you can
you
also
can
get
go to the
those.
website, too.
What's that, a web address?
Charlotte49ers.com.
All right. Yeah. So pack the Haze. We'll be here starting at 4 o'clock on Friday for first pitch against the Big 12's West Virginia. All right, Austin. We're gonna let you get off the hot seat. We'll finally let Woody rotate in here, and I don't know, see what he has to say. You've kind of covered everything, but we'll get Coach Woody in here and see what's up. But man, we appreciate you for stopping by. Okay.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on.
All right. Here he comes. We're gonna.
Good luck this weekend, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll see you in a few days.
Thank y'all. Great job, Mighty. Appreciate it.
Hey,
There he is.
good to see you guys.
He's in here. He's bringing he's got his crumpled up lineup card and everything, and he's ready to go.
Just got some notes.
Got some notes. I love it. We always have notes too, and then end up not looking at them, but that's just the way we roll. So, what's up, Woody? How you doing? What's been going on?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks. Just back on the field today with the guys, and just kind of Monday's kind of a recover, get stronger day, get ahead in the classroom day for us as a program. Kind of let the guys mentally and physically recharge, regroup as needed, and then Tuesday we try to really identify some things from the previous weekend that we felt like we need to, fine-tune, improve, or maybe, cover more. So we did that today kind of in a more like skill group setting the whole afternoon, and let some pitchers face some hitters that needed to get some innings, and hitters who needed some at-bats. Keep those guys sharp and ready to go. And, yeah, tomorrow we'll throttle it up a little bit with a little bit more of a kind of a higher intense practice and Thursday routine, and here comes West Virginia.
So, how about we just kind of just general conversation starter here? One thing that impressed you about your squad this weekend, and one thing you want to get on, you want to improve on.
First 3 games were pretty tough. Like this is a tough group, and not just mentally tough in their response and their ability to adjust from game 1 to game 2 and then to game 3, but physically this is a tough group. Just guys. It's. I know it was neutral site for 2 of the games, but it felt like 3 road games and 3 really great opponents that are. I anticipate all of them making the NCAA tournament and playing deep into the postseason. So, to go on the road right out of the gate, and really we felt like we played a really good Louisville team, and we did not play the brand of baseball we wanted to play. And to see the look on our guys' faces after the game, and said, okay, they hate to lose. This is good, and but also, none of them were discouraged. None of them lost any level of their confidence, and felt like we had a good kind of recap after the game, and we showed up Saturday, and Cam Hansen was a warrior, and guys just played their tails off and carried it into Sunday, and made for a interesting flight home in the uniform, as we posted on social. But we're just, first three games. I think this group checked the toughness box, and that's a big one to check.
Speaking of toughness, any updates you can give us on Hunter Baker and Jake Cunningham?
Yeah.
They had a rough collision at the end of that game on Sunday.
Absolutely, yeah. No, they're doing so much better, and obviously in touch with them closely since the incident, and tried to put the fans and family members at ease as much as possible, because it looked like although scary, it looked like we were going in the right direction right after the incident. And then Donna Nemo, our athletic trainer, she is a rock star, and she took such great care of them from the moment it happened all the way through, getting them to the airport, through the airport, checking with them through the night, and the last 2 days here, and just taking care of them. And yeah, we're in good shape. We're going the right direction, and we should be making a full recovery here very, very soon.
Okay, thank you. I know the fans were a little concerned after that Sunday. That's the last we saw of you guys. Was that game ending, and it's good to have an update. I'm glad the guys are doing better.
That's probably the number one thing that through whether it was DM or on social, text, whatever, that we've been asked is, what have you heard about those guys? You heard about those guys? People are really concerned, so that's good to hear. Yeah,
absolutely. No, those are they're it's certainly a scary situation, and just in talking with both Jake and Hunter's family, they both mentioned how many other family members and teammates had reached out to them, and I know how much they appreciated it. And I can't understate it enough how much that means to our coaching staff, just to the cohesiveness and the tightness of the family, all the families. This early too is pretty unique, and so yeah, we're we're very thankful to be where we are after the collision on Sunday, and we're going to continue to keep a close eye on those two guys and make sure that they have a full recovery here, this week.
Huge class shown by South Florida there on Sunday. I mean, that was, for everything from the folks in the stands to their players and their staff and everybody. I mean, huge class.
Yeah, they invited us to come play in this tournament, and we knew it was going to be a gauntlet. And I had been to South Florida before. I had actually in 2018 as assistant coach. We played opening weekend series there, and I thought it was first class then, with Coach Mole and coaching staff then, and the fans, and really talented team, and it was much of the same this time too. I mean, I think their athletic trainer's name was Brandon, and Brandon was right there with Donna tending to bake on the field, and Coach Mole is out there, and the players, they all said some really nice words to our team going through the line, and just as you said, just first class operation there at South Florida, and we're very appreciative.
And no one even hit anybody in the handshake line or anything. No.
Yeah.
No one slapped an assistant or anything like that. I guess that's a basketball thing. So you guys, we'll come back. We're going to come back, work our way through here. But you mentioned it. You guys had to go to the airport with your uniforms on, and the guys, we're talking, sweaty, dirty baseball players, right? Going to get on an airplane. That had to get you off some looks.
Yeah, there's no secret where we were flying to. It was.
You had an airport code across your chest.
I usually, before we get off the bus, I usually remind the guys. I don't really have to with this group so far. They're a pretty impressive group, but I usually just remind them, be conscious of your surroundings. You're representing, the school, the program, families, etc. The city of Charlotte. But I really didn't have to say a whole lot. I mean, it was pretty clear who we were representing, and on top of that, if your name's on the back of the jerseys too, so it's
you guys look like checked baggage.
Yeah, it's a pretty quick Google search to figure out, if somebody's not doing what they're supposed to be doing at the airport. It's like, well, Charlotte baseball, last name, got it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's no hiding.
Yeah, it was Yeah, I've never done that before. 12 years coaching, never flown home in a uniform. It was all Coach Bick and Coach Sieb's idea. They didn't think we were going to have time, which I don't think we would have had time to make our flight. So we were, things kind of sped up a little bit there. Once we kind of got Bick and Jake up on their feet and the game ended, it was like, flight, here we go, and clean up the dugout. And, we're trying to talk about, okay, can we change? Can we shower and change? And we just basically just ruled those two things out because it was a 30-minute ride plus Tampa traffic, and we just didn't want to, we didn't want to miss our flight. So we
How about those poor people that were just trying to fly and they wound up with
had
dirt.
a business meeting in Charlotte on Monday morning.
Yeah, and they're sitting with guys that have been out in the sun and the heat and running around in dirt.
Everybody was super friendly. Actually, the two people I sat next to, I sat down and they kind of laughed, and I just said, "Don't worry, I didn't play today. I didn't sweat as much as those guys. You lucked out." So, it could be a lot worse. Yeah.
Somebody wound up sitting next to Nate Furman, and Nate was dirty because Nate gets dirty, right? So that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's so awesome.
Speaking of Nate, let's talk about some of the offensive leaders from the weekend. We just talked with Austin Knight. I mean, he had 9 ribbies, 2 homers, a double, 5 walks on the weekend. So WP's through the roof.
Yeah, 5 punch-outs, only 1 punch-out.
Yep. And same with McCabe. He had David McCabe, 5 walks, homer, double, 2 singles, and 3 ribbies for him. Both of those guys scored 4 runs, as well as Cam Fisher scored 4 runs, and Nate Furman scored 4. So a lot of runs coming from those 4 guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was they picked up where they left off, and they've done it the whole preseason. They've done it the whole fall. So against some really good arms. I mean, that's the other thing too. Is like it's not we're facing Louisville's Friday arms. We're facing, everybody knows how good UConn's arms are year in and year out. And then you got South Florida, who's, every arm they threw out there out of the bullpen was, 90, 92. They had, one guy the 95 and they had all kinds of looks of righties and lefties. So it was a good test. It was a really good test for us this weekend for sure.
And then on Sunday, you got to see a lot of different pitchers because you jumped out to a 8-0 lead, and I know South Florida's kind of throwing a lot of freshmen or new pitchers at you. Talk about that 8-run explosion in the first 2 innings on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, I thought our guys did a tremendous job of taking what the game gave us, if not chasing out of the zone early, and to draw leadoff walk and then a 2-run home run by McCabe there in the 2-hole just to get it going, and really promising to see this group of guys on offense. They never had a sense of satisfaction. It was, all right, we scored 2 really fast, like get the next guy on, and keep the throttle down and keep going. And to their credit, from the 3rd inning on, I mean, they kept it at bay and put a good swing of the bat on us to get it to 8-3, and but we and our bullpen just locked it down. But yeah, I mean, it was just really promising to see. It's college baseball games are never over, as we all know, so you can never take your foot off the gas. And but it certainly is a much more manageable game, with a lead as opposed to being on the flip side. Yeah.
Seems like we were just one swing away in the later innings of just busting that one open completely. We definitely had opportunities, which is promising looking forward, because we going down the road, we're going to have opportunities to get those guys in. But
did the setup there at South Florida was really cool. Really cool for the fans. The speed indicator was right behind home plate. Any read on how well calibrated that was? Because
based on what we've seen in the preseason from our guys, it looked pretty accurate. Yeah.
Because at one point on Sunday, Tony Rossi put 96 right on the corner, and it was a thing of beauty.
Michelson.
Sorry. Yes,
Yeah.
You're right. Michelson.
Sorry, Tony.
Sorry, Tony. Your time will come. Michelson.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Put 96 right on the corner. Pretty good. That's got to get your juices flowing.
Yeah. No.
the dugout.
We've seen. I mean, yeah, and absolutely. I mean, Evan was a really, really highly recruited pitcher for us. We actually kind of had 2 recruiting processes with him, and we finally got him to come here. And he's just, because every time we saw him in the recruiting process, either in person or on video, we thought he was potentially one of the best relievers in the country. And so, and he's just an incredible person and teammate, and one of our hardest workers in the weight room. Our entire pitching staff, really this team loves the weight room. But Evan, when it comes to sort of especially the lower half, just like in the weight room, I mean, it's the stuff that he can do with some weight in there is pretty impressive. And so it's not an accident that he's not just rolling out there and throwing 96 because he's got some gift. Like, he works extremely hard at what he does, and it's great to see that hard work pay off.
Speaking of closers, let's just go ahead and get a Colby Bruce shout out in here.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Not only did Colby come back, but he goes for the 3-inning save, and was just, he was fairly nasty.
And this is his first appearance since March 10th, 2020, when he got the win over NC State, that 9-8 victory before everything shut down. So, very special moment for Colby on Saturday.
Yeah, it was neat. As you said, I mean, it's been a long road back to get him, him personally, and us as a coaching staff, just kind of working together for that moment. And we got him hot. I really wanted to get him in kind of as soon as possible, just because it's been a while. We got him hot for about 5 pitches in the bullpen on Friday, and then we sat him down because the situation changed. And so once we got him up on Saturday, we kind of talked about it as a staff, and we talked about it before the game, that we really didn't want to get him up. We didn't want to get him in and then keep him available for Sunday. So we kind of made the decision that we would go to him early if needed, and then just kind of let him go. He's built up to about what he threw. He's kind of right at it about what he's built up to. So we actually said in the 7th inning we bring him in and just let him go. So he pitched his tail off against a really good UConn lineup, and got us out of a big jam. I think first and second, and nobody out, and came back out and put up a 0 in the 8th and a 0 in the 9th and slammed the door. And it's just so cool personally for him, and I think collectively as a team. I think every team, is you learn how to win, and I think the team seeing how guys like Colby and Austin, who was on the show earlier, and David McCabe and Nate Furman and Tony and Evan and really, and Colin Kramer. I mean, just seeing, again, goes on and on and on. Just seeing all these guys and how they attack the game and with confidence and conviction. I think it it really helped us going into the South Florida game. In terms of understanding, okay, this is how we play. This is how you win ball games at this level, because we have a lot of high school and junior college transfers that it's still their first Division I games. This past weekend was, now that's behind us.
You touched on something there. I thought with some different guys and for different reasons, but and some of them got over a little quicker than others. But I kind of picked up on a little bit of maybe some first game jitters out there at different times. And it's understandable, but
yeah, I think the first game for all teams, it's just a little odd, and you just try to manage it and navigate it. And unfortunately we came out on the wrong end of the result. I think on the fortunate side, I think we learned a lot of very valuable lessons of what we're capable of if we play like we're capable.
Yeah. Cam Hansen on Saturday, like in that first inning, he maybe looked like he was trying to find his way a little bit in the first inning. But then after he came out the second inning, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he took the game by the horns. Like he said, and another one who just is a tremendously hard worker, who typically, in my experience, guys who work as hard as Cam Hansen, when they get backed into a corner, they're going to come out swinging. And he came out swinging and took control of the game and gave us a chance to win. It was a big part of the reason why we did win.
Or if you're a graduate transfer and you've been around the block and you're Will Lancaster, you just come out and say, "Screw it, gonna dominate."
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, something else that he's done since he's gotten here. I mean, he's done it to our hitters all fall and preseason, and so he earned that opportunity, and he's just got such a great pulse and rhythm and tempo about him on the mound, and I think our defense loves playing behind him. And he just does all the little things. He holds runners, he fields his position. He can pitch in, out, up, down. He's got a little Tom Glavine to him. If you really, if you remember watching him pitch, he's got a little Tom.
We're that old.
Yeah, I mean,
It's our house.
yeah, I mean, he's got a little Tom Glavine to him, and except with a little more crossfire, so he's got a little bit more deception to him. But I was just so proud of him because I mean, I think I know. I know how much it means to him and his family to be here, and to for this to be kind of the last go around for college baseball. All he's talked about is winning and helping us achieve great things as a team, and I thought that was a really great start to his final campaign this past weekend. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, the numbers on Will: 5 1/3, only allowed 2 hits, 1 earned run, struck out 3 and only walked 1. Picked up the W. So. Great way to start his 49er career, I guess you'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
fun to watch on Sunday.
We talk about him being sort of a blue collar guy. It's not flashy, but he just gets outs.
Yeah,
just gets outs.
Yeah, it's called pitching, and that's what Will does.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. I love pitching.
Yeah.
Yep.
Another lefty. Speaking of lefties, Spencer Geesting. He had a pretty good outing on Friday. Threw 4 innings in relief. Only allowed the 1 earned and struck out 4, no walks. That's good to see from Spencer coming out on Friday, opening day.
Yeah, we almost won that game, and large in part to his efforts out of the bullpen there. He kept it right there, and we kept coming back, and I think we just ran out of a little bit of time. But Goose is a special pitcher, and he is a huge part of our team and our team's success. So yeah, I'm excited for what we saw this past weekend. I'm excited for what we're going to see this weekend and moving forward with him. He's at a different level now, for sure.
So, my favorite stat from this weekend. Okay, favorite stat. Our hitters collected 24 walks, and our pitchers only gave out 7.
Mm-hmm.
That's game changing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're talking about, I don't know. You guys talk about how many, if you do this, and this, it's so many runs per game, and that's going to amount to this many wins. But if you keep a discrepancy like that going, that's gonna add up in the win column.
Yeah, I mean that's a differential right there, just on walks is of 17. I think that's, we're plus or minus 17, whichever way you want to look at it from the offensive or the pitching side, and
plus 17 on the base runner side.
If you multiply, if you do some quick math, I mean whatever 17 times 0.73 is, I think that's how many runs essentially we got spotted. Obviously it's after the fact, but a walk is about 0.73 runs.
Well, I do history, so I'm not going to do the math on that. I'm going to try because it'll be wrong.
13 or 14.
It'll be wrong.
Yeah.
I've already called somebody the wrong name. I'm not going to start doing math on a Tuesday night. Man's got to know his limitations.
12.41. 12.41.
There we go.
Yeah. So over 3 games, you're talking about 4.15. Roughly 4.15 runs just off of walking many fewer guys. Yeah. It's not an exact science, but it's roughly that.
Yeah. You look at Knight and McCabe, 10 walks between the two of them, 8 runs between the two of them. I mean, like I said, walks equal runs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's something on both sides of the ball we have emphasized since the opening team meeting August 22nd. And it's one thing to just talk about it. I think obviously, I don't think there's a pitching coach in America that's trying to hey, let's walk a few more guys this year. And
we walked more guys.
And I don't think there's a hitting coach in America that's like, hey, I think we should be a little bit more free swinging and chase more pitches out of the zone, right? But so it's something just not only have we just kind of emphasized, but we've really worked hard as a coaching staff to try to be creative and find, kind of the best ways that we can and to try to improve those things, and develop those traits and on the pitching side really recruit those things. I mean the pitchers that are first year pitchers in the program. I mean they're we really identified those guys because we like we think they all have enough stuff, but they all have the level of pitchability that we were really looking for in the recruiting process, and that's a credit to them.
This might be the most patient lineup at the plate that I don't know when we've seen this much. We've definitely had guys that were very good at working counts, but on this many guys, top to bottom, that can negotiate and navigate an at bat. I don't know if this is a stat at all, but if like full counts is a stat, like somebody's tracking that, Nate Furman's going to lead. He's going to lead the country in full counts.
Yeah.
His at bats don't even start until the count's full.
Yeah.
Seriously, I mean, how many times this weekend was Nate down? Did Nate find himself 0-2, but the next thing you know, the count's full?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he just he works it, man.
Yeah, that's a special talent. I mean, and it's a real skill, and he's got it, and that's why. I try to have his back as much as possible when it comes to arguing balls and strikes because he's within reason, right? But I don't know if I've coached another player that has a better feel and vision for the strike zone. I mean, that's an elite understanding of the strike zone, for sure. Yeah, and then I think I don't know what the count was for the South Florida game, but I think our hitters saw 181 or 182 pitches from Louisville, and I think we saw 212 pitches from UConn, and I don't have that number for South Florida, but it has to be up there.
It's a lot because there was a lot of pitchers that they used also.
Yeah, so it's got to be up. It's got to be up there. You know what I mean? I think when you're forcing teams to throw over 150 pitches, that's getting pretty deep. That's getting pretty deep there into the pen, and that's the kind of thing too. When you're playing a 3-game series, that can really take its toll. Because you're forcing guys, you're getting guys up into the 30 relievers. You're getting them up into 30 and 40 pitch count on Friday. They may or may not be ready for Saturday, and then it's just part of the game. So again, something we've worked really hard on, and we want to try to continue to do well and get better at.
Yeah, you mentioned taking what they give you. I mean, you got heart of the order guys up with the bases loaded, working the count full and taking walks, bases loaded walks instead of. I mean, those guys can easily go to yard easy and put up the big 4 spot, but they're patient. Took what they gave us and earned those bases loaded walks and got 2 insurance runs off of 2 bases loaded walks late in was it the UConn game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the credit to that, is that they believe in the guy next to the guy coming up next. And I think that frees up. I think the best offenses have that because that frees them up to. They don't feel like they have to press. They don't feel like they have to do more than capable of. They go up there with their approach. They stay with it, and if the at bat goes towards their how their approach is, then bodes well for them. If it doesn't, then they take their walk or their free base and, just trust the next guy to go up there and get it done. So they don't try to do too much. But it does make for longer games. I mean, it's part of the deal. So,
Right.
So yeah, be ready to settle in. But it's a good thing.
So, and you touched on this. I just want to reiterate this. Just looking through the offensive stats. I mean, and the pitching we got really solid pitching as you touched on. This offense they have not hit their stride yet. I mean, they've
faced some really good arms.
They've
this
faced
weekend.
some really good arms,
Yeah.
and they there's more to come.
Yeah.
And I say that in the context of, folks, you're going to want to get out here to see this because there's more offense to come, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
We can go what's to come. Let's talk about West Virginia weekend a little bit. West Virginia's coming in at 3-1. They had a good tournament down there in Coastal Carolina this weekend. They beat Kent State, Central Michigan, which was, I think they were ranked in some polls, and then they lost yesterday to Coastal Carolina. Put up a lot of runs. Looks like I watched some of their game yesterday. Looked like they like to run quite a bit. Pretty aggressive on the base pass. What can you tell us about West Virginia, Coach?
Yeah, I mean they're a team that's been to super regionals in the last few years. I know not last year, but the year before that and the year before that, they've been towards the top end of the Big 12 now for a number of years and knocking on the door to go play in Omaha. So it's a really, really good team this year for sure. And Coach Mazey and his staff, they've been, he and their recruiting coordinator Steve Sabins, they've been together for a number of years now, and they've built just a really, really strong program. And so, yeah, they can beat you a lot of different ways. They're as you touched on, they're very athletic. They can run. Most of their hitters have the skill set to be able to drop a bunt down, so that makes you have to cover a few things. They can hit the ball out of the yard, and they've got some power arms. I mean, they're going to have a lot of arms. I think their closer Waters is up to 99 yesterday, and they've got a really good weekend rotation and just a bunch of arms that are going to be really, really challenging for us. So, we've got we're just kind of working in as hard as we can as a coaching staff to be as ready as we can, make sure our guys are prepared and feeling getting healthier and stronger this week. I think that's a big thing. We want to be as fresh and ready to go for Friday, because it's gonna be a very challenging weekend for sure.
I bet it's a little bit refreshing only to having to prepare for one opponent as opposed to 3 last weekend.
Yeah, no, it was. We got the I think like scouting and game prep, it's a bit of a, it's kind of like a bit of a muscle, I guess you could say, and like, we kind of had to flex that muscle on 3 different teams, right? Really good teams right out of the gate, and not that it's easier for one team, but we kind of had to build that up quick. So, and we had to, fine tune. We got to fine tune some things as far as just kind of things we want to make sure we value and prepare and that sort of thing. So, yeah, but West Virginia played 4 games against opponents, so they did the same thing virtually with 1 extra game, and they don't have a midweek game either. So I'm sure that they're probably watching film on us right now as we speak, and ultimately it'll be two well prepared teams that with a lot of talented players, and it'll be a great series for Niner Nation to come out and watch, and we need the support, and that presence will certainly help us this weekend.
So let's talk about that a little bit here. I think this series will have a lot of eyes on it this weekend, just because it's two postseason bound teams having in a matchup here. I think it's is it on ESPN Plus?
Friday and Sunday. ESPN Plus, and Saturday on Conference USA TV.
Yeah, but you don't need any of that stuff, folks. Just buy tickets and come out, because it's going to be a good crowd out here, and we want you part of it, right?
Yep.
What's that? Just talk a little bit about that. I mean, this is a postseason quality matchup, and we've got they'll have some folks here, but talk a little bit about what our fans can bring to the table and how that Austin touched on. I'm not sure anybody could say it any better than he did, but what does that mean from a coaching standpoint when you feel that energy and you've got people in the stands, you got people coming out and ready to get after it?
Well, I mean, we talk to our guys all the time. We think the will to win's a real thing. I think I've always believed that. So, and the will to win is, in my opinion, it's always stronger with more people. So, one person's will to win is great. 2 is better. 3 is better. 4 is better, and so on. So, for us, there's going to be about, we have 37 players, 6 coaches, and managers, support staff members, et cetera. Let's just call it 50, right? And then it's however many seats that are here. So, you take the the will to win of the 50 people in that dugout, and then you fill the stadium with as many people that have that as possible. This becomes a very difficult place to play, and that's what we want here. That's like the gates are open. They weren't last year, and so the gates are open, and so anybody that's a Charlotte fan, Charlotte baseball fan, just a baseball fan in general, and you live in the area, come to the Haze, bring your will to win, come support these guys, because they're worth it. They deserve it. And we want to make this school and this city proud.
I like that. Bring your will to win. I don't know if we can hashtag that, but we'll figure out something with that. I like that.
I've always believed in it.
I like it. I mean, it feeds off of itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the more of it there is, the more of it there will be.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. So, we're gonna start winding this up here. What's your key for this weekend? What's our key for success this weekend?
We showed, I think we showed on Saturday and Sunday that when we just play our brand, and that's good enough, and it doesn't. I think when we try and force things, we try and we maybe I'm trying to think of the right way to say this, if we just play clean baseball, we play clean baseball, and then allow our opponents, whoever this weekend or any weekend, really to make more mistakes. I mean, that's the mark of a great team, is like the days that they play their A+ game, they will win. But very rarely do they play a D or an F game, and their C game should be good enough to win. So just playing a consistently clean brand, You look at the free base column, the walks, the hit by pitches, the errors, the dirt balls that allow guys to advance, all of those things. I mean, I think if we can do those things at a high level and play aggressively in all the other facets, then good things can happen. But it's a really good club coming in here this weekend, so we have our work cut out for us.
Well, Coach, we always give you the last word. I'm not sure you can do it any better than that. You got anything you want to add to that before we wrap this thing up?
Gates are open.
Gates are open.
Buy tickets. If you don't know how to buy tickets, come by the baseball offices. We'll help you. We'll help you. So
I did hear somewhere that the phone number is 704-687-4949. The ticket office. I heard that.
Speaking of tickets, real quick, the Niners are playing the Campbell at Atrium Health Ballpark. Pre-sale for season ticket holders is Thursday, so just check your email if you're a 49er baseball season ticket holder. Everybody, the Uptown games are already on sale to everybody, so go ahead and get your tickets to see the Niners play Uptown against Apple on the 11th and against Davidson on the 23rd. And
I'll just add for that, if season ticket holders are watching their email for a link for the Kannapolis game pre-sale, season ticket holders and Grand Slam Club members might want to keep their eyes on their email maybe tomorrow as well for some interesting information that's coming out that may or may not relate to this weekend. Just check your email tomorrow. That's all I'm saying. All right, folks, we're out of time. That's going to do it for us. Look for this podcast wherever you find your podcast. Make sure to subscribe in order to be notified of new content, of which there is a lot because Austin Knight finds his stats out through us, apparently. You can also find Diamond Niner Report on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Reach out if you'd like. We love hearing from you. Or if you're old-fashioned like us, and oh my gosh, you get to do it this weekend. Say hello to us at the ballpark. We love talking to y'all. For Kevin, producer Brad, Coach Woody, this has been Nick. I'm going to be seeing you real soon at the Haze.
Go Niners.